guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Hey guys, it's Wednesday, February 6th, and it is now 8:35 p.m. Eastern Time, and I uploaded the other video and came right back. I didn't even take a break. So we're going to pick up from where we left off, and you know what? I didn't even take a break to warm up my tea that I'm drinking out of this lovely Q mug, and so it's now stone cold and not very pleasant. So I think I'll set it aside until after. All right. Now, this is really interesting, and I wanted to bring it to you guys to see what you think about it, because I don't know. This is a theory posited by an anon, and I think it's a pretty good theory. So let me give it to you guys, and let me know in the comments below what you think, because I think that this person could be onto something. All right. Q team monitored all Comey's communications, and it allowed them to gather intel about the Tlaib and other MK Ultra human bot threat, the related presidential assassination attempt, and the drug supply chain at the southern border. Now, what this person's talking about, of course, is the assassination attempt on the president that we discussed a couple videos back, where Pelosi was getting on a plane and planning to be out of Washington, and when it happened. And you know something, somebody mentioned this, and as soon as they mentioned it, I thought, oh my gosh, that's why. Remember when they were on the bus, they were on their way to the airport, and Trump shut them down and said, nope, you can't go. The government shut down, and it's just not right for you to go. And besides, you need to be in Washington to negotiate with me, basically, because, and he was right. But the bus, when it came back, it just kept circling around and around and around. And many people thought, well, maybe they're just embarrassed to get off the bus. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think these people have any shame. Really? You really think that they were embarrassed to get off the bus? I don't think so. I mean, look at the stuff that they do all the time. They have no shame about that. So, in fact, I would have thought that they would have got off the bus and used the media to say, can you believe what Trump just did to us? You know what I mean? I mean, that would have been more likely to happen than them being afraid and just driving around and around. Well, they were driving around and around, I think, because they didn't know that the false flag had been called off. They didn't know that. So they were thinking, a missile's going to come in to the White House and take out Trump and Pence, and we don't want to be anywhere near the White House. So they kept driving around and around until they probably had confirmation that it was called off. I'm just saying, it's a good assumption. All right, so let's get back to this. The initial plan for Nancy, Adam, and other in the know officials was to evacuate the U.S. with their families while chaos was spreading throughout the country, and especially around the White House. This evacuation operation was called Evac On, was reversed by POTUS when the mirrored command No Cave, which remember when he said no cave? And it was a weird thing to say, and people thought, oh, I guess he's thinking, no, I'm not caving in. I'm not caving into their demands. And he put no cave. But the evacuation operation apparently was Evac On, or at least that's what this anon is positing, and it was reversed by POTUS as a message to them. Now, which consisted of grounding. Okay, so the mirrored command, No Cave, sent the command to others to ground Nancy's plane, publicly disclosed her destination to prevent her from leaving the country and therefore forcing her to try to break on all contracts, try to put a break on all contracts, because at that point she probably was scrambling to get, to break those contracts, because she didn't want it coming at that point because she was in Washington. So anyway, the no cave signal grounded her plane, disclosed her destination and pushed her to cancel the State of the Union to give time to Q-Team to neutralize all the identified threats and reschedule it at the date pre-planned by POTUS. Now, the No Cave operation was a military intel success and resulted in 1, the arrest of Tahib and other sleeper cell members, 2, the dodging of a major countrywide terrorist crisis, 3, a historic fentanyl bust at the southern border. These 3 components are proof Q-Team was heavily compromised. These 3 components are proof Q-Team has heavily compromised the deep state's capacity to maintain, renew, and use its network of false flag human bots and general infrastructure. The No Cave operation was also a political success. It allowed POTUS to get his State of the Union without losing the government shutdown leverage. After the 21-day period, he may still shut down the government if needed. He then may use this lethal card for other purposes behind the scenes, ad vitam, whatever. And as long as the Dems do not loudly confess, the wall is already being built. Are you tired of winning yet? Now, I don't know. I think that there's a good possibility. We know that there was an operation in place to assassinate the president and the vice president. And that would have made Pelosi president. And look at Donna Brazil's tweets, you know, calling her President Pelosi. I mean, that's just too weird. And so I think really when he sent out that message, No Cave, it sent the signal to ground her plane and to, reverse all this. I don't know, but, it's, some people get mad when you start speculating. Well, isn't that what we're doing, is speculating? I mean, you take the evidence to the best of your ability, and then you speculate on what it means, right? So, nothing wrong with that. We're not saying it's the gospel truth. I don't know if this is right or not. It just sounds right. Could be. Might not be. We haven't lost anything by exploring it, have we? Of course not. All right, let's go on. Now, I love this. This is from the White House. Let us work together to build a culture that cherishes innocent life, and let us reaffirm a fundamental truth. All children, born and unborn, are made in the holy image of God. Amen. And that, of course, is a quote from the State of the Union speech by Donald Trump. President Donald Trump. Wonderful, wonderful quote. Now, I don't think we ever get tired of talking about Elizabeth Warren, do we? Of course not. Hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya? Okay. All right. Well, apparently, you know how she said, oh, I never used my Indian status to get ahead in life. Oh, I never did. I mean, I know that I claimed that I was a Cherokee, but I never used it. Well, apparently she did. Because here we have this right here. Elizabeth Warren is so busted. She said she never used her Native American heritage to gain any type of advantage. She listed herself as an American Indian on her registration for the Texas bar. Oopsie. Yeah. And there it is, right there, American Indian. 9/18/86. Yeah. She did. Is it any surprise that she lied? I mean, why are we surprised at this? I mean, if you're going to lie about being an Indian, you're going to lie about benefiting from the lie. See what I'm saying? You're going to lie and say, yeah, I'm an Indian. Yeah, you're going to lie about benefiting from it. Absolutely. Why is that hard to understand? I don't know, but people seem surprised by this. I'm not surprised. I think that they'll probably find other areas where she benefited from her non-existent Native American status. Hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya? Okay. All right. And you know what? I am not making fun of Native Americans because I am one. I may not look it, but I am a Métis. I am, and I've got the documentation to prove it. So there you go. So don't start saying, "Oh, you're making fun of Native Americans." No, I'm not. Not at all. I'm making fun of her. There's a difference. I have all the respect in the world for the Native Americans, but none whatsoever for her. Okay. Now, this from Donald Trump Jr. Juarez, Mexico has 373 murders in 2017 directly across the border. El Paso, Texas had 19. The only thing separating them is a wall, because walls work. Yeah, they do. Walls work, otherwise we wouldn't have walls in our home. Really? I mean, people build walls to protect themselves. I mean, just ask Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters and Chuck Schumer and all these other people that have great big old walls around their homes. They work. Nobody spends money to build something that doesn't work. It's retarded. Sorry. Actually, I apologize for that. I should not use that word. And I apologize. I do know better. And I offer my sincere apology for that. I do know better. I used to work with the developmentally handicapped. And I know better. Okay. Lisa Mae Crowley. Blah, blah, blah. Republicans don't care about the middle class. Blah, blah, blah. Republicans choose to cage children and tear families apart. Blah, blah, blah. Climate change. Voter suppression. Yeah, that was pretty much the rebuttal to the State of the Union. That was it in a nutshell. Or me. Orange man bad. Me. Republicans suck. Me. That's it. That was it. That was the whole rebuttal. Okay. Now, look at this. This is his smirk that he talked about that he displayed when Trump was talking about killing infants after they've been born or in late-term abortion. Creepy Chuck Schumer smirking over late-term abortion as President Donald Trump attacked New York's new controversial late-term abortion law during the State of the Union address. This is Chuck Schumer's response. Yeah, it was really, honestly, quite creepy. It was. Like, I was watching it and it scared me. I'm glad he doesn't live in my neighborhood. Seriously. Like, I'd keep my dogs in. And my children, if I had any. I don't have dogs either, but if I did, I'd keep them in. And my children. All right. This by Redbird. She's quoting, or she's responding to Governor Mike Huckabee, and she said, funny, breaking wind from CNN. In light of revelations that Elizabeth Warren claimed to be American Indian for University of Texas Law School, she is dropping out of the 2020 race. In a gesture of friendship, Donald Trump will appoint her to head Bureau of Indian Affairs. Okay, now that is classic trolling. Really, he has learned from Trump, I tell you, because, that is right up there with Trump level trolling. Absolutely. Expert troller. Okay. This is interesting. This is from an Anon, and I thought it was interesting, so I included it. Because, heck, we need more interesting stuff, don't we? Look at Pelosi. She knows she is screwed. Earlier today, as tradition, POTUS sent a copy of his speech to the Democrats so they can refute it or offer a rebuttal. The speech was not the one POTUS is delivering tonight. This is why she started reading his speech and looking at her Democrats. LOL. Brilliant. The old bait and switch. She didn't expect the World War II guess or the Apollo moon landing astronaut. More surprises to come. The Dems are screwed. Now, interestingly enough, if you watched the State of the Union, you did see her. It was very disrespectful, but she was shuffling papers the whole time. And it was a copy of the speech that she had, and I can prove it, and I think I've got a picture down below. But anyway, it was a copy of the speech, but many including myself, believe that she didn't have the real copy. I think Donald Trump gave her a copy that was not his speech. I think he had two, the one he gave and the one he gave her, because she's looking at it, she's confused, she's looking around. I really do. And that would be something Trump would do. It is. And I'm sorry, it's funny. I think it is. Because after everything that she's done and all the dirty tricks she's pulled, including trying to kill him, then yeah, she deserves that. And then here's Charlie Kirk. Oh, okay. I thought I had read this before, but I haven't. Female unemployment lowest in 65 years. Trump's SBA lent $500 million more to women-owned businesses in 2017 than Obama did in 2016. Trump launches the Women Entrepreneurs Finance Initiative to promote female entrepreneurs. What are feminists resisting exactly? Well, nobody knows. And if you ask them, they don't even know. Yeah, you watch interviews where people go up and they ask these feminists, like, well, what is it exactly that you don't approve of? They don't know. They're just parroting what they hear on CNN or whatever. Orange man, bad. He's bad. He's bad for women. Why? I don't know. All right. Okay. Now, as much as I complained on Twitter that I had to sit there and watch Pelosi chew her cud, this person came up with a brilliant solution. They hung a towel over that side of the television screen so that they couldn't see her. Now, next time, I'm going to do that because I don't want to watch her play with her mouth. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. She has $200 million. She can't afford a pair of dentures that fit. Seriously? Or get some better Fix-A-Dent. I don't know what denture wearers do, but they don't fit, man. You're playing with them. You're clicking them around. Oh, it's nasty, 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 nasty. Okay. Now, let's look at this. No, really, let's. It's 8:52 if you're on medication. If you're not, it's still, maybe you should be. Okay, fact check. You people are morons. This is from Donald Trump Jr. Fact check. You people are morons. He praised them and their success. He didn't pick sides. He didn't take credit. He genuinely was happy for it, and yet you still knock him. What the hell is wrong with you? And down below, it's NPR. Fact check. President Trump praised the record number of women in Congress, but that's almost entirely because of Democrats, not Trump's party. So they're knocking him on that. It doesn't matter what this man does. It's not good enough. It doesn't matter. It's unbelievable. I've never, ever seen anyone, in this entire world, picked on as much as Trump. He can't do anything right, according to the media. Nothing. All righty, let's go on. No, let's. Okay. Nancy begins reading the letter from, okay, this is what I was talking about. This proves that it was Trump's speech that she had, but I just happen to believe that it wasn't the speech that he was giving. Nancy begins reading the letter from Trump signed with his black marker at the beginning of the State of the Union. The facial reactions she had during her intermittent scanning of the pages ranged from shock, nervousness, to utter disbelief. Now, you can tell because of this picture, because we all know Trump's handwriting. I mean, it is very, very distinguishable from anybody else's. So, yeah, she was reading, I believe it was a copy of the speech, because that, I think they have to give a copy of the speech to the Speaker of the House, but don't quote me on that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I believe they do. And I don't think he gave her the right speech. But, again, that's just me surmising. I wasn't there, so I don't know. All right. Oh, this is crazy, crazy, crazy. Saudi Arabia makes app to stop women from traveling without consent. Yeah, there's an app for that. There is. Pretty wild, isn't it? The Saudi Arabia, the Saudi National Information Center has developed a mobile application called Abshur, Arabic for enjoy. What's so enjoyable about not traveling? That allows male guardians, usually husbands and fathers, to monitor women's movements. Yeah, I remember one time there was an imam or whatever that said that if women drove, it would damage their uteruses. So they were forbidden to drive because driving damaged their uterus. Yeah, okay. So the app, available on iOS and Android, is designed to help guardians with tasks like renewing a driver's license or paying fines, but also to monitor women and stop them from leaving the country without their consent. The app sends a notification when a woman presents her passport at border control. Border police will deny the woman travel if her guardian says so. In early January, a Saudi teenager named Rahaf Mohammed Al Kwan tried to flee to Australia with a connecting flight in Thailand. In Bangkok, a Saudi official met her to take her back to Saudi Arabia, but she refused to return. After a days-long standoff, Canada finally granted the teenager asylum. Over the past 2 years, Saudi Arabia has lessened several restrictions on its female citizens. Women are now allowed to drive. Oh, they can drive now. What about damaging their uteruses? With their guardian's permission. So I guess, it depends on whether your husband believes that driving is going to damage your uterus or not. Anyway, women are now allowed to drive with their guardian's permission, go to sports stadium, and start their own business without the permission of a male guardian. Oh, well, there you go. Okay, I wouldn't do well in that country. Not well at all. Okay. Now, this is something, and we're going to be hearing more about this because it's huge. It's freaking huge. Mueller and Holder shut down FBI investigation of stolen U.S. stealth defense technology implicating Lockheed Martin, while Comey was Lockheed's top lawyer. Conflict of interest much? For nearly 4 years, the FBI investigated the international theft of stealth defense technology from a small Florida marine company that invented an ingenious way to help protect Navy ships and nuclear ballistic submarines from being detected on enemy radar and sonar. And on the eve before the case was to go to grand jury, the case was closed by then FBI Director Robert Mueller and then Attorney General Eric Holder. Well, why would they want to do that? Well, let's find out. This was the original pay-to-play scheme, and it involves Mueller, Holder, James Comey, and Hillary Clinton, says Steve Morton, inventor and owner of a rare robotic ship and submarine stealth painting technology that can help make the U.S. Navy's fleet invisible on radar and sonar. They allowed my technology to be stolen by European companies partnered with Lockheed Martin, and Comey was the top lawyer for Lockheed. Now my technology is being sold to the Chinese, Russians, and all over the world to enemies of the United States. I wonder how much Hillary Clinton made on this because she was Secretary of State when the probe was shut down. Oh, it just gets curiouser and curiouser. Massive allegations against familiar players linked to numerous other FBI, DOJ, and government scandals, but this time the stakes are much larger than a Uranium One scandal. That was millions. This is untold billions. Yeah, that's right, billions. Another FBI cover-up, Morton and FBI insiders said, and Morton should know, he worked as the FBI's undercover informant on the case for almost 4 years, wearing a wire, recording phone calls, gathering evidence against whoever his name is, the massive Italian shipbuilder who the FBI had all but proven swiped Morton's stealth painting technology as well as his company's computer files. Comey had left the Justice Department in 2005 to become Lockheed Martin's top lawyer until 2010. The exact time frame his client was under investigation along with its Italian shipbuilding partner. Morton and high-ranking FBI sources said Mueller had received pressure from Comey, Lockheed's high-priced general counsel, to squash the case. And then suddenly, almost 4 years of FBI casework spiraled down the drain. Mueller and Holder shut the entire case down. Fincantieri and Lockheed Martin are partners in the shipbuilding business for the U.S. Navy and navies in several countries, heavy partners with billions of U.S. tax dollars alone pouring into the coffers of both massive corporations. In fact, when it comes to building warships and outfitting them for combat, Lockheed is under an exclusive contract with Fincantieri. South Florida entrepreneur Morton, however, describes Fincantieri as a greedy foreign defense contractor who conspired with Lockheed to steal his technology and run him out of business. The most important vessel in the U.S. Navy as far as the weapons platform is the nuclear ballistic submarine. It is common knowledge in the Department of Defense that these submarines have active defense technology such as anti-submarine torpedoes, but the primary defense of any submarine is stealth, keeping it hidden from enemy sonar. Fincantieri rakes in $5 billion annually. Really, just $5 billion? Anyway, while Morton is asking family and friends for loans to help pay his legal fees, and that annual revenue for Fincantieri doesn't include its numerous spin-offs and subsidiaries that are too vast to list here. This is a case and a story of the prophetic David versus Goliath. But in this case, David turned to the FBI to try and take down this gargantuan defense contractor partnered with Lockheed, and things appeared to be going well until Goliath produced attorney James Comey, who was old friends with FBI Director Mueller. These bastards took everything I had, Morton said, and our ship in the Navy still aren't protected by this technology while our enemies are protected with it. This is a national disgrace. Morton was not the only person angered by the abrupt end of the FBI's probe into the defense contractors. In 2011, then contractor Alan West got involved trying to nail down why the FBI walked away from a case it had built for almost 3 years. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? When you spend that much time and money on a case, you don't just shut it down. The Federal Bureau of Investigation was investigating this case, DOJ case number 288AMM109951, before Attorney General Eric Holder asked them to end the investigation. West wrote to House Oversight Committee Chair Darrell Issa, "I am not sure why the Department of Justice would back off a case regarding the theft of U.S. nuclear technology." The correspondence that ensued between the congressman prompted Issa to jump on the case, which set off a rash of FBI and DOJ lies that stretched from Florida to Washington, D.C. to Italy and beyond. But that is another part of this scandal for another day. The story is developing. Wow. Wow. You know, the thing is, we know there's a swamp. We know that this stuff is going on. But more and more and more is revealed, and we see how multi-layered it is. It's just crap upon crap upon crap. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how these people have been able to evade justice for this long. But remember, Q said we have to clean out the DOJ and the FBI and the CIA before all these people are brought to justice, because what's the point? If they're corrupt and you bring this to corrupt judges or whatever, it's not going to be solved. So, everything in due time, I guess. I know I'm as frustrated as you are because I want to see this stuff prosecuted. I really do. I want justice, but it's getting hard to wait. It really is. Okay, let's see. Now, I think this is the last thing I have for this evening. Pope admits clerical abuse of nuns, including sexual slavery. Wow. Pope Francis has admitted that clerics have sexually abused nuns, and in one case, they were kept as sex slaves. That's something you never expect to hear those two things in a sentence. Nuns and sex slaves. Sex slaves. Nuns. It doesn't work, does it? He said in that case, his predecessor, Pope Benedict, was forced to shut down an entire congregation of nuns who were being abused by priests. It is thought to be the first time that Pope Francis has acknowledged the sexual abuse of nuns by the clergy. He said the church was attempting to address the problem, but it was still going on. Last November, the Catholic Church's Global Organization for Nuns denounced the culture of silence and secrecy that prevented them from speaking out. The Pope's comments come amid long-running cases of sexual abuse of children and young men by priests of the church. So, yeah, this is and I'm not going to get into all this, but this is a whole new twist on the sexual abuse because I didn't know this was going on. I guess I had heard little things. People I guess there's like some testimony from nuns and stuff on YouTube, different ones. And so I did believe that abuse does happen towards nuns, absolutely. But I wouldn't have believed it was widespread. And maybe it's not. I don't know. But anyway, that's it for this evening. I'm going to stop there and let me know in the comments below. Comment and, whatever you have to say. Speak your mind. Just try to be polite to one another. I don't like it when people get really rude to one another. If you disagree with someone, that's fine. Move along. A lot of times I'll come and erase those comments anyway that are really defamatory or cruel to someone else. I come along and I erase those. So don't even respond. Just move along. But anyway, also, if you want to be subscribed, make sure that you stay subscribed because they're up to their little tricks again. They're dropping subscribers and, you'll be going a lot. Like I find for myself, there are several YouTubers that I like to keep caught up on, and often I'll go and I'm not subscribed anymore. It irritates me, really. But anyway, subscribe, click the bell to be notified of future videos, and thank you so much. I appreciate you guys more than I could possibly say. I really do. And I look forward to spending my evenings doing this. I enjoy it, and I enjoy all of you. So I will talk to you later, and have a wonderful night. Ooh, I can't get back. Here it is. Bye.